This chapter marks the beginning of Volume 48, and I look back and think fondly upon the last year that I've had to go through this wonderful, wonderful experience.
One Piece, Chapter 460, Conquest Before Dawn.
Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, and I'm here to bring you another review on the intricately woven, delicately balanced, ultimately flavorful tale that is One Piece. Now, we of course are on the last chapter, finished off Volume 47, and we are now diving headlong, balls deep, into Volume 48 over here, and very, very cool, colorful cover, where we have the giant berserker beast oars that of course has Luffy's shadow in it, and then Luffy in front of it, and just looking very cool and just stoic and Luffy-like. So anyway, things wind up ending off in the last chapter with everyone minus Nami being back on the boat on the Thousand Sunny and basically just getting ready to charge and attack Gecko Moria and get their shadows back. So that's where things left off. Things pick up right there, and we see that everybody's going to divide up into teams. We get Frankie wants to go and check on Brook, so and Zoro wants to go with as well to check on him because he wants to meet this swordsman, and this swordsman is Ryuma. And for all of those of you that corrected me, I do appreciate it, but you don't need to do it continually chapter after chapter. The reason that it stayed the same and I kept forgetting and calling it Ryuma and everything else, or Ryuga a couple of times, was because I had recorded, and usually do record 3, 4, sometimes 5 chapters, you know, back to back to back. So, just because of one mispronunciation, I'm not going to go back and re-record an entire video or re-edit an entire video. So, just to let everybody know, thank you very much. I do appreciate it and always welcome the comments. But once you've done it once, I do see it. I do look at the comments, and we're just waiting for the next opportunity for me to record and obviously correct it and say his name properly, Ryuma. So they go and they're heading off kind of down the lower path and then the upper path up to Gecko Moria, because Luffy's very straightforward, right? Luffy's whole deal is listen, we don't even have to fight our characters, our guys, our embodiments that have our shadows in them, right? These marionettes that have them in them. All we need to do is go and remember that old guy that was all beat. All we have to do is go and take out Gecko Moria, and everybody's shadows will come back, right? So you got to appreciate that simple-mindedness, those blinders, but you know, at the same time, I mean, if you think about it, that's the shortest path. It's the shortest distance between 2 points, between point A and B. So the rest of the group, being obviously Luffy and Usopp and Chopper and Sanji, of course, because he wants to get Nami back. He's put in charge of that. And then Robin, just looking drop dead sexy. They're all running on the upper path, right? And as this has all happened, we kind of go back into the House of Horrors, so to speak. And you know, Gecko Moria and his cohorts are informed by Hilden what's going on, that everybody's kind of awake and back. And what I thought was funny is just like, what? How are they awake already, you know? It's like, well, they wound up beating them awake. Normally you beat somebody until they're unconscious, right? They wound up getting beat until they were awake. Anyway, though, you know, they wind up finding out, too, that, you know, just a little comic relief is that all the zombie generals are attending Absalom's wedding to Nami, this complete farce of a wedding that he's put together over here. So as that's going on, Perona goes and says she's going to take care of some things, and we also find out from Hogback. Hogback says, listen, you know, just give me, put me in control of a couple of these zombies and this and that, and I can take care of things for you. So as we go back to our, you know, our hapless heroes, so to speak, on the upper and lower paths as they're moving, we've got, you know, Luffy and Sanji just paving the way, just kicking and beating through everything, and Luffy's just like, give us back our food! Doesn't even seem to care about the whole shadow thing, but he's pissed that they took their food, you know? And Sanji, of course, you know, is pissed that they took Nami. So as they're going through everybody, all of a sudden they wind up getting nailed with the negativity ghosts, right? And the negativity ghosts are the ones that Perona has, that she commands. And obviously when they hit you or when they pass through you, all of a sudden you just feel like just no self-worth and you just want to die, you know? And you basically, you know what, you wind up being like most of the reviewers in this community when they review anything that's, you know, that's not trendy or niche to them, you know. So you know, God forbid if they didn't get the Naruto chapter that they wanted that week, or the One Piece chapter was lacking in what they think, you know. So just very, very obviously a negative feeling is what comes over everybody, and certainly that's what ends up happening with you know, with all of our hapless Straw Hat crew that's over there. So So as this is all going on, and we get Sanji goes and, or I'm sorry, Usopp goes and fires a lead star at some of the zombies, and they're like, we've got no choice, we gotta grab him and run. So Chopper winds up grabbing Luffy, and Usopp's got Sanji, and Robin's just running looking sexy, right? And all of a sudden, Oars, who was, Luffy, the berserker, who was sitting up atop the top of the mast looking out over things, just dropped down and has no idea of, like, his size, because he just drops down and completely collapses the bridge that they're on, this stairway bridge that's going up. Collapses it, and everything falls to shit right below to where Zoro and Frankie had been fighting through, right? And the chapter winds up ending off shortly after that. Luffy and Sanji look like they're knocked out from the fall, or at least albeit temporarily. And we've got Zoro, who's trying to go and hack away at this wall that all of a sudden appeared in front of him. And we know that Zoro is directionally challenged and sometimes a little bit on the dim-witted or dense side when it comes to certain things. So he didn't bother to notice that it's not a wall that all of a sudden appeared in front of him, that it's this, towering 50 or 100 foot tall beast, Oars, right? And that's how the chapter ends off. So I thought it was a lot of fun. My chapter question for you, brothers and sisters, is ultimately for Gecko Moria's cohorts, his underlings, his three, Absalom. Out of Absalom, Perona, I'll just get straight forward with this. Out of Absalom, Perona, and Hogback, which one of those characters is your favorite and why? Leave that answer to that question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next one, Nation.
Follow me on Facebook and Twitter and check out my other channels, and as always, thanks for watching.